The hardest truth you will ever have to accept, my dear, is that some people only remember the one time you said no and completely forget the 100 times you said yes. Stop begging for a seat at a table where your sacrifices are invisible. The day you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you is the day you start living. Sit down for a moment and rest your feet. I was just pouring some warm tea, and I felt it deep in my bones that someone out there needed to hear this today. You look tired, my sweet child. Not just physically tired, but tired in your spirit. I know that heavy look. It is the look of someone who has given their absolute everything to people who do not appreciate it, only to be told that you still have not done enough. Today, we need to talk about a painful truth I called a selective memory filter. Have you ever noticed how quickly people forget your years of sacrifice the very moment you finally set a boundary? You can pour from your cup until you are completely bone dry, but the second you ask for a sip of water, suddenly you are selfish. This is a deeply painful realization, but it is one you must face if you ever want to find true peace in this life. You see, as we get older, our circles get smaller, and there is a very good reason for that. We simply stop allowing people to make us feel guilty for the things we could not do when we have already done so much. Let me tell you a story about a dear friend I used to have many, many decades ago. We will call her Eleanor. Eleanor and I met when our children were just little babies, practically inseparable. We shared family recipes, we watched each other's children, and we cried on each other's shoulders through the hardest of times. But over the years, I began to notice a quiet pattern. Eleanor had a very special pair of glasses she wore, a selective memory filter. Whenever she needed something, I was her first call. And I answered, my dear, I always answered. I cooked for her family when her husband was laid off. I sewed her daughter's graduation dress by hand, staying up until dawn. I listened to her complain about her troubles for hours on the telephone while my own dinner burned on the stove. I gave and I gave and I gave because I loved her. But one harsh winter, I fell terribly ill. It was a bad bout of pneumonia, the kind that keeps you pinned to the mattress, unable to breathe. During that time, Eleanor called and asked if I could host her extended family for a holiday dinner because her oven had suddenly broken. I croaked into the phone, coughing and weak, saying, I am so sorry, Eleanor. I am too sick. I simply cannot do it this year. Do you know what she did? She did not ask how I was feeling. She did not offer to bring me warm soup. She simply went quiet and hung up the phone. And for months, she did not speak a single word to me. When word finally got back to me through the neighborhood grapevine, I learned that Eleanor had been telling everyone that I abandoned her in her time of need, that I was a selfish friend who refused to open my home to her. She completely erased a decade of my absolute love, my time, and my sacrifice, all because of one single no. I spent weeks crying over it, my heart broken, trying to figure out how to prove my loyalty to her. I wanted to shake her and say, do you not remember all the times I was there? But you see, my dear, she did not want to remember. That brings us to the hardest lesson you will ever have to learn about human nature. People who use a selective memory filter are not actually forgetting the truth. They are deliberately ignoring it because the truth makes them incredibly uncomfortable. If they acknowledge all the good you have done for them, they would have to acknowledge their own selfishness. They would have to admit that they are taking advantage of your good heart. So, to protect their own fragile ego, they rewrite the entire script. They zoom in on your one mistake, your one boundary, your one moment of sheer exhaustion, and they blow it up until it is the only thing they see. They make you the bad guys so they do not have to feel guilty for being a bad friend, a bad partner, or a toxic family member. My sweet child, you must stop defending yourself against a fabricated history. Stop taking them to court in your mind, presenting all the evidence of your goodness, hoping they will finally see the light. You cannot heal someone else's twisted version of reality, and it is absolutely not your job to try. If they want to paint you as the villain in their story so they can sleep better at night, let them. Hand them the paintbrush and walk away. Your worth is not defined by someone else's inability to appreciate you. When you constantly demand a seat at a table where your sacrifices are entirely invisible, you are disrespecting yourself. You must know your worth enough to pack up your precious love and give it only to those who remember your kindness. I want you to take a deep breath right now. Close your eyes for just a second. Think about the person who has been making you feel like you are never quite enough. The person who brings up your past mistakes, but conveniently forgets how many times you have forgiven theirs. I know your heart aches right now. I know you feel deeply betrayed. It is a very heavy burden to carry the memory of everything you did for someone, while they carry only the memory of what you did not do. But you must release them. You must forgive yourself for loving them so much, and you must forgive them for not knowing how to love you back. Their selective memory is not a reflection of your character. It is a reflection of their severe lack of accountability. You are a good person. You have a pure, beautiful heart. Do not let their distorted lens make you ever doubt your own goodness. Silent strength is the most powerful force in this world. You do not need to scream your truth from the rooftops. The truth does not need a megaphone. It stands perfectly fine on its own. Life is far too short to spend it auditing the memories of toxic people. As the sun begins to set on my life, I can promise you this one thing. True peace only comes when you stop trying to control how others perceive you. Wash your hands of their unnecessary drama. Protect your energy like the treasure it is. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your yes and deeply respect your no. Remember, my dear, you are deeply loved, you are endlessly valued, and your story is beautiful exactly as it is. Take good care of yourself, and I will be right here waiting for you next time. If this message spoke to your heart today, please leave a comment down below and tell me your story. I read every single one. Hit the subscribe button so we can share more quiet moments like this together, and please share this with someone who might be struggling with a toxic person in their life. May God bless you and keep you safe.